Welcome to the middle of nowhere. Let's go fishing. Oh wait, forgot this. Oh, I should have gone the other way. We made it. I'm out of breath. Quarter of a mile portage like that. We'll do you dirty. What's this say? Wow, that's cool. That's awesome. That's what we're after. Welcome to the middle of nowhere. We're in the backwoods of Maine right now. It took us quite a journey to get here. A 3.5-hour drive, about a 30-minute portage through the Maine wilderness. And I think we're set and ready to go. We got our fishing graph, our net, our flies, paddle, trolling motor battery, canoe. I'm trying to think, am I forgetting anything? Go. Oh, that's right. The rods. This morning at 6 a.m., we were 10 minutes away from where we're at right now. And I slammed on the brakes and I said, oh mother shit, I can't believe I forgot the rods. 3 hours away, we would have to drive to go get those rods. Miraculously, there's a little store next to the Golden Road, which we traveled on, called I think it's the Golden Road Outpost. They weren't open. They didn't open for another 2 hours. I just so happened to run to one of the workers in the parking lot. I said, hey, listen, I know I'm a Guggen, right? I know that. But it appears that I've traveled all the way to this remote lake and I forgot my rods. Is there any chance you guys, A, have rods, and B, would be willing to open up for me early? All I can say is shout out to the folks over at Golden Road Outpost. They open up early. They sold me this rod. It's an okay rod. It's not as nice as some of the stuff I had back at home, but beggars cannot be choosers, especially when you're 3 hours in the middle of nowhere. But wieners, welcome. That's I feel like a pretty hilarious proper intro. We are currently at a lake right now, which no one is at. I don't think anyone's fished this place in quite some time. This is the farthest I've ever been in Maine. We are so remote right now. No cell service, no planes, no trains, no cars, just us and hopefully some trout. I don't want to keep this intro going for too long, but there's one thing I have to note. This lake in specific that we're about to fish only has brook trout, and big ones. These are all native brook trout. They don't stock this place. These fish have been around here for thousands of years, and Maine keeps it that way, which I think is beautiful. And the other interesting thing is that this place closes in a matter of a couple of days. Starting October 1st up here, they shut down a lot of the really good trout lakes, so they allow these fish to spawn and not get harassed by anglers. And I think that's great. I think it's wonderful, but it is September right now, and we still have a little bit of window to make this happen. So it's just Caleb and I and you guys, of course, watching. We're gonna see if I can get my biggest ever brook trout on the fly. I'm pumped. You ready, Caleb?
What do you have to beat?
My biggest brook trout on the fly is like 6 centimeters, I think. 6 centimeters, it's like this big, it's so small. So I think anything really, I mean, I would ideally, like a main goal would be like a 3-pound brook trout. Like a nice 19, 20-inch fish would be al dente. Let's get it. Be free. Oh, that was a rough cast. Oh, I got one. We're on. I got one. We're on. Let's go, baby. First fish of the day. Doesn't feel huge, but we know what it is, at least. Nice little brookie. Cute little guy. Ate it on sight. Let's get him in the net. Come here, buddy. Come here, little bookie. Come here, bookie. As my daughter would say, here, bookie. Wow, look how chubby he is. I guess that might be a female. Beautiful fish, dude. Let's go. Wow, look how colored up this thing is. Oh my gosh, this looks totally different than any brook trout I've ever caught. That is awesome. Well worth the send for sure. I'm gonna get him unhooked and give you guys a glance at this native natural brook trout. Caught him on a conehead woolly bugger. Pretty solid fly for this scenario, in which there's really not eating anything that's hatchy right now, more or less just hunting and getting aggressive. Wow, dude, this thing's, look at the colors on this guy. Absolutely stunning. Beautiful fish, dude. To think that this fish's genetics have been in this pond for thousands of years, literally. We did it, man. Put it there. Apparently this pond has got some big ones, so I want to get this guy right back in the water and send him back to his big brother. And hopefully we can get his big brother later. Gorgeous fish though, absolutely stunning. Perfect, like the definition of a perfect fish, in my opinion. All right, time to send our old little brookie back. Not even gonna grab him, just let him swim right out of the net. If you can figure out which way is out. Hey buddy, you know where you're going? There you go. Whoa, dude, they look cool in the water. All that work for probably one of the coolest fish up here, in my opinion. I really don't do enough fly fishing when I'm up here in Maine. I just settle for the boat smallmouth, which really isn't what Maine is all about, in my opinion. I definitely think that, anglers should highlight the amazing smallmouth fishing that's up here. However, that right there is what the state is known for. Caught that guy on tried and true conehead woolly bugger. This is just in like a red and black color, contrasts really well in this clean water. Great for just about all species, honestly, depending on what size you throw it in. Bigger for, pike and sometimes muskie, about this size for smallmouth and brook trout. But the brook trout here are aggressive. The water is 60 degrees flat. This water is the coldest it's gonna be for the rest of September and basically until the time we can't fish this place anymore. So that's why I wanted to make the long haul up here in the Hell Tour to get here on this water. I mean, look at this, dude. You got the freaking Maine mountain range in the background. Nobody's on this pond. We've got this whole system to ourselves and we're getting started. I'm learning something with every catch, and with that particular catch, it definitely leads me to believe that these fish are close to the bank. That was only 4 feet of water that fish bit out of. Very cool. Let's get another one. Oh, it's awesome. I love brookies. Oh, another one. Decent one. Better. I saw those fish on my graph. They were all bunched up. And I just took a blind cast in there and yet another one. This one might be a little bit bigger. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it's a little bit bigger. We're after like a fish of the 2-pound caliber today. This one's not gonna cut it, but he's got some size to him. We just wanna keep upgrading. Oh yeah, it's a good one. It's a very nice brook trout. They're aggressive right now. That fish absolutely hammered the fly. Hammered it. Gonna skate him in. Get in the net, Bubba. Look at the freaking patterns on that one. Ooh! I think there's so much to appreciate about these fish. One of which is that they're good to look at. They're easy on the eyes for sure. And the other reason is they're aggressive and they're freaking fun. Look at that little jump there. They give you a little acrobatics, Caleb. I'm not actually able to gain on this fish at all. He's pulling me pretty good. In the net, let's go. That's a nice one. That's a little bit better. It's probably close to a 13-inch brookie. Quality fish, no doubt. Let's get a look at this guy. We're upgrading. A little bit bigger. A little bit bigger of a fish. Yes, sir. Wow, long and lean. Full of piss, too. That thing was jumping, thrashing, pulling. It's a 5-weight rod, too. He was putting the beans to it. It's just crazy to think that these fish can get up to 10 pounds. There actually was I just saw an article of a 10-pounder that was caught in the Nipigon River in Ontario recently on the fly, which I think I would ascend to heaven if I caught a 10-pound brookie. My biggest ever is a 5 and some change, but there was an asterisk on that. It was on a ice fishing rod. I feel like I'm better suited to catch these guys through the ice. However, I'm trying my luck at fly fishing these past couple days, and it's been a lot of fun. That's definitely my biggest brook trout ever on the fly. So freaking cool. Time to send her back, just straight out of the net. Here she goes. Wicked. Nice. Oh, there's one. Ah, man. They are not very deep today, I'll tell you that much. Woo! This guy doesn't know he's hooked yet. What's going on here? They are not deep at all today. That was 5 feet. 5 feet, basically the end of summer, early fall. And they are shallow. They're not quite spawning yet, obviously. I don't have their spawn colors on, the water's too warm, but I think with this overcast and wind, we've got a little bit of a window here to make it happen. There's nothing better than having them be up shallow, because if they're deep, it makes fly fishing a bit of a challenge. You got to throw sinking line and it's lame. You'd rather just strip fast with woolly buggers. We're just going to get a quick release on this guy. He's about the same size as the last one we caught. Maybe a tad bit smaller. Also be nice to get a nice colored up male today too. It's like 3 hens in a row. I think these are females. I'm pretty sure if I'm not mistaken. Females are a little bit more bland, but I could be completely wrong and not know what I'm talking about. Quick little look. Where to dunk her back. Huh, stunning. Bye-bye, little brookie. Thanks for playing. Nice. I don't know if this cove right here is productive or if the whole bank's like this, but it's hard to leave this and search for newer water. There's always a saying, and that is never leave biting fish. And they're biting over here, so we might as well stick around and see if maybe some bigger ones are hanging out. I just don't know what bigger brook trout do. Like, do big brook trout hang out with fish of that caliber right there? I got no idea, but hopefully figure that out today. Cherio. Oh, wow, that was cool. Decent one. Wow, decent one. Buddy came up and hammered it. I've watched that fish eat. That's awesome, dude. Let's go. Another decent little brook trout, maybe 13 inches. Caleb turned to me and he said, fish. I'm like, where? And I look over and there's rising water. I don't know what they would be eating, maybe chasing minnows. There doesn't seem to be a hatch. Could be just a random little bug, but went right over to where he said fish. And sure enough, I got another quality brook trout. They've been the 5-weight pretty good in here. I was rowing along up to this spot, which is kind of the calm corner of this pond, and I was seeing some really nice fish on the graph, maybe like, you know, some 1 to 2 pound brookies. And granted, I haven't seen too many brook trout on my graph before, but they look the same size as like a 2 pound, 3 pound smallmouth. So there's some giants in here without a doubt. Come here, little stinky. Come here. Bringing them in, bringing them in. Oh, what is that, number 4? Yeah. Nice. Good fit, fat fish. You're getting that fall feed on at the moment. Relax, buddy. Another one for the conehead woolly bugger. Beautiful fish, my gosh. I know I keep saying it, but like, they're truly stunning. Oh, fuck. There you go. Another gorgeous fish. Gonna send him right back. Into the water he goes. Early fall brookies. It's a lot of fun. This is a fly fishing only lake, but I can't imagine doing anything other than fly fishing. It's hype. It's hype. It's a challenge. And, you know, one of my life goals is to get a 3 pound Maine brook trout on the fly, and there's really no better place to do it in a pond scenario than one of these ponds where it's just brook trout, and these, you know, these fish haven't really had to compete with stalker fish or any other species for that matter. It's not like a pond that's got bass and pike in it. These fish are just here alone. So again, 6 foot 5 feet of water seems to be the money number, and that was only my first. Oh my god, I just got hit again. I just had my fly in the water. That was insane. I should probably get back out there. That was nuts, dude. That was crazy, dude. I just had my fly in the water as I was talking, which I probably shouldn't have been doing. I've been doing too much talking today. There might be quite a lot of fish in this little area. So we've seen 2 rise, caught 1, and 2 bites just in this little zone. Medium-sized strips with the woolly bugger. They're just so aggressive, man. This is the time of year where they get really fired up. Fired up. Buffaloes. It was like, I don't know what they called it. It was like a buffalo chicken with onions. It was, oh, there's one. Wow, that's a decent one. That might be decent. Wow, absolutely stopped me. Well, yeah, not a bad one. That might be the biggest one of the day. Not by much, but it's a good fish. Man. That was, dude, they are so freaking aggressive right now. That fish, boom, stopped me. Stopped me dead in my tracks. I threw her on a grasshopper for a little bit because I was seeing some rise, but I think that they're eating really tiny bugs, and I don't have anything to imitate that. So I went back to what was working. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Wow, that's a really nice one. Probably close to 15 maybe. Biggest one of the day, no doubt. On the streamer. On the streamer. Nice brookie. In here somewhere is my personal best brookie on the fly. This is a good one though. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a nice fish. It's going crazy. It's already starting to sport some fall colors, that one is. Oh, that's a nice one, dude. That's more like it. That's kind of the size we're after. Probably close to a pound. This one might be a male too. It's got some jaws. This right here is the most colored up one we've caught. It's also the biggest too. Yeah, this guy's already got some orange on him. Quality fish, probably close to 15 inches. Fought like heck too, man. Wow. They've got such gnarly teeth. They're technically not even trout. They're in the char family, which makes them so aggressive. Look at the white tips, the orange fins, all the dots. That is what Maine is made of. Time for the release. Man, that is probably, this fish right here takes the cake for the biggest and the prettiest. I believe it's a male too. The way he's already starting to get his colors like that. You know where the net's at. There you go. Whoa, man. Coolest freaking fish out there. There we go. Ooh, that's a decent one. Oh, not quite as big as I thought. Just hammered it though. Well, our day's coming to a close here. The evenings are not as long as they were this summer up in Maine, so we got probably, oh gosh, there she goes. Probably got another like 30 minutes to make something happen here. Did not find that giant that we hoped for, but that last fish, other than that one, the one before that was a very quality brook trout, and my biggest ever native on the fly, which is really freaking cool. I've caught some, I didn't preface this prior, but I have caught some trout on the fly previous to this that were pretty decent size, but they're all stocked fish up here in Maine. It just, I don't know. They're fun, obviously, but there's like an elusiveness about these native fish and how scarce these types of fisheries are up here. Used to be a common occurrence. You could go to one of these little ponds back in the olden days and crank an absolute giant, you know, like a 6-7 pounder on the fly, but those days are long gone, unfortunately, due to pollution and logging and overfishing. But this pond remains fairly untouched for the most part, which is just so incredible to say that we got a chance to fish it. Like, you know, it's hard to believe what the fishing used to be like. I'll pop up a couple pictures of guys with, you know, 7-8 pound brookies on a stringer. That kind of what led to, you know, ponds like this being pretty scarce up here. But the good news is Maine does take care of what fisheries they have left that are full of native brookies, and clearly, as you saw today, even a novice like myself can get the job done on a little conehead woolly bugger, like the most dumbed down fly on earth. Look at that, my casting is just absolute garbage too, and I'm still getting it done. This has been fun though. We're gonna fish for about 30 more minutes and maybe, I don't know, get a buzzer beater bite. Wieners, mission success. Gonna have to add this one to the list as probably one of the cooler Maine experiences I've ever had. There's just so much of the state I've not explored. That includes water and then also fish species. I gotta spend more time on these brookies. Like every time I come out, I learn something new. Today was awesome though. They were shallow, they were hungry, they were munchy. That is up until around 2 p.m. and it seems like they kind of fell off a little bit. Didn't get that giant that I was hoping for, but that's good because then it keeps me hungry. It keeps that chase alive and it keeps potentially a little bit of a story going on for you guys watching at home. I don't know. They're probably some of the coolest fish up here, if not just trout in general, or char, I guess. Catch them on the fly makes it that much more fun, and all you gotta do is throw a little tiny conehead woolly bugger. We caught probably 7 fish there, our biggest being close to 15.5 inches, which is definitely my biggest ever native brookie on the fly. And I'm stoked, I'm pumped. I hope you guys enjoyed this little adventure. If you all want us to do more of this, drop a comment down below where we take the canoe or some sort of small vessel and bring it into these very remote backwoods ponds. But we're peacing out, signing out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. And as always, folks, keep fishing, never stop.